I do.
Okay, let's get
Yeah.
into my topic of expertise. We've read a
Please.
book, maybe two. We'll decide if we read two later.
We
We
read two.
read The Will of the Many, which I don't have my copy in front of me because I'm a bad host. But we
Oh shit.
read The
Yeah,
Will of
I
the
should have brought
Many
mine in.
by
Yes, we
James
did.
Islington. James Islington's second series. I have his first series right here somewhere.
In that
Um,
pile.
quickly about the first series, I liked it. I don't think it's amazing, but it was good. And I read it saying, this is a good author who I'm happy took the leap into writing. He was a professional who decided to hell with it. I'm going to try writing.
Mm.
I think it's a good series. The Shadow, I can't remember the name of the series. Good books. I liked them. I think it was like, for me, like a 7 out of 10 series, you know. It's been a few years now. But so when I saw that he had a new series coming, I was very excited as an author, but I had been putting it off because who likes to read the first book of a series knowing they're going to have to wait 5, 6 years until the series finishes? No one wants to do that. So I've been putting it off. And I've been hearing a lot of great things. The internet loves it. Specifically, my college roommate loved it. He read it this year. And Chase read it this year, and I said, all right, I gotta dip my toes in. So post Sun Eater 4, I start this book. Now, what are we talking here? We're talking fantasy, slight sci-fi, but more fantasy book, right? I think that's fair to say. We have a unique magic system. We have some revolution, some empire, the kind of storylines that you love, right? We have a protagonist with no parents. It's good stuff. All your
They're
classic things are in here.
dead! Ah.
There, yeah. Um,
Is that a spoiler?
no, he's an
Okay.
orphan to start the series.
Sure, yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how to. It's a hard book to describe without spoiling the beginning of it. I love knowing nothing about a book, so I'm just trying to think of how else to describe it. Other than unique magic system with an empire that naturally is oppressive to people, so they're trying to overthrow it in certain capacities. Very early on in the book, our main character is an orphan. He lives in an orphanage and participates in essentially like a fighting ring
I
to
think
make
from now
money.
on, we should just, we should just refer to Viz as the orphan. Like
The
through the rest
orphan,
of the
Vis.
review, we should just refer to
Well,
him as
honestly, it's
the
how these
orphan.
characters work. Vis the orphan.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, the orphan.
Yeah, and not gonna get into the specifics of the fantasy elements of the magic system, but he gets adopted by a wealthy man in the empire who intends to train him and send him to an academy. So we're in an academia setting for a lot of the book. Um, yeah, that's where we're at on plot. Very vague plot.
Very
Um,
vague plot.
if you love, I know I'm trying to be vague.
No, you're good. It's perfect.
Um, uh, the premise of the magic system is that the plebeians, the lowest caste of people, cede their will up to the next caste of people, right? They're called Octavias, something like that, right?
Something like that.
And they cede up to the next caste, and so on and so forth. And the will is the magic system that lets them get stronger, lets them handle materials in a certain way, right? Like imbue objects is what they call it.
Think chakra. Just think chakra from Naruto.
Think chakra, okay.
Think if Madara actually succeeded at the end of Naruto, and that's what he did to
Didn't
the
get
world.
there. Um,
Oh.
that's our very vague premise. I think my recommending of this book, so like Tori is somebody that I don't know that like a big world building, extensive character development is for her, right? I don't know that that's what she's looking for. Whereas, and that's not what you're getting in this book, right? You're not getting massive world building. You're not getting extremely in-depth character development outside of the main character. But what you are getting is
And
a
some
very
side characters.
but not
And just a
okay,
few.
a little bit. You're right. I take it back. You're right. Some side characters a little bit. But what you are getting for sure in this is a very fast-paced, exciting, awesome story. Awesome story. I think the story rocks. I loved it. The first 100 pages were really hard for me. I struggled because he is doing the world building there, and at times I really struggled because it felt very info dumpy. I didn't, for me, you have to make me care, right? If you're gonna make me learn like rules and cities and all these names, I have to care.
Right.
I didn't care yet,
Well, the first
right?
city you're introduced to, they don't even want you to care about it. So it's like, but you feel like you
It's
should.
it's hard sometimes for me when
Yeah.
I feel like, because then sometimes this is all just criticism of the first 100 pages. He's dumping the magic system at you in a very evident way that I think an editor could have fixed, right? It felt like how I would expect a fan fiction to be written a little bit, right? Like from a very amateur author, and he's too good for that. However, it took me 5 days to read the first 100 pages and 2.5 days to read the next 500 something pages. That story is
Ripped it.
so fun, very addicting, very exciting. It's very good. I loved the book. Um, I know you didn't like it as much as some other people, but a book that I needed a book that went at this pace. I needed that. I haven't had that in a long time. And, usually it's not my preference, right? I prefer a Sun Eater or a Wheel of Time, which this could not be more opposite to, in my opinion. But
But you
man,
can love them both.
yes. And I will say, obviously, like those other are more of my favorites, and I think they're more impressive. But this, I don't think there's a lot of people doing it to his ability at that fast pace, that fun, like where I just needed the next chapter. Like I couldn't wait. It's not very often that during my lunch breaks that I'm reading my books, and I had to read that book during my lunch break because I was
Nice.
so, like, I
Yeah.
needed it.
That's a good time. That's
So
a great time to have with a read. Yeah.
yeah, I loved it. I needed it. I especially needed it after Sun Eater book 4.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I loved the book. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, but that's because I can't give it like 4.5 like I wanted to.
Right.
So
I gave
yeah,
it a
yeah, yeah.
4. And I think we've talked about this, and I'm okay with admitting this, that like it is affected by a a reading situation. Feeling comes from a time and place maybe in your life or where you're at with what you are reading. And I think I just read it at a not the greatest time.
I
I
think
still
so
really
too.
liked it. Like a 4, like I would also give it a 4.5 if I could, but I went with the 4 because it wasn't living up to what I was reading around it. It came off. I shouldn't have started it when I did. But I still really enjoyed it, and I really liked it basically from the start because I didn't know dick about it. So when like they introduced like will being their power system, I was like, oh, and like how I was like, this title's really dope actually. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I really did enjoy it. Well, and then right before the second one came out, I listened to this girl give a recap of the first book on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and she does a really good extent. Like she kind of makes me understand some of the complaints we have about the names and shit a little better because she has a background in because I don't know if we've said this, but it's like
I should have
Roman
said this.
Empire based
Yeah,
world.
I should
So
have said that.
she puts it into like that perspective better than the writer does
I
for
understand that
me.
that's how the names were derived, but
Hmm.
that doesn't mean they're just better decisions could have been made about names at
Sure,
times. And I
sure.
think that's fair. I
But
know
when
it's
she
like a
went through
bit,
the
yeah,
story again
sorry.
for me, when she recapped it, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is really good. This is a really
It's
good
excellent. The
story.
story is
The story is
excellent. 10 out of
it's
10 for
unique.
me.
It's unique. It is certainly unique. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And like I said to you, that was one of my gripes. It was a little too long of not knowing like what the hell's going on with certain things. Like I hate when they hold that information almost literally till
I
the end of the book
I
because
see,
I
for
didn't really know
me,
what was important or not.
that's perfect in this situation because that's what made me rip through the book at the pace I ripped through it because I
Sure,
was like, I just need to know what's
I just need to
happening.
know what happens. But the
But
book almost ends with still not really knowing what the fuck was happening.
yeah,
So that kind of hurt it for me at that point in time. But no, I mean, I told you there was a reason that I still liked it enough that I was like, yeah, I got to read that second book. I got to read Vampire, then that second book, then that final Sun Eater. It was on that list of books I wanted to read.
Yeah.
So, yeah. To get into a little bit of a spoiler talk though with this one.
Tell me.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think we should dive into some things, spoiler wise, that we enjoyed or didn't enjoy about the book.
Okay, let's start where I enjoy. So he gets adopted by a member of the government.
Key score.
Yes, and I love political. I love, like, you know, a government running a world. I love any time that is built.
Jake's
by
pro-government.
Well, I didn't say that. I love learning about, like, I think it's
Roll back
interesting
the
when an
tape.
author writes it. I might have a degree in it, so that might make more sense. But I loved all that. As soon as he goes to school, done. It was so unbelievably fun from there on for me. Like, fun. I think the school stuff, you know, because at times you realize when you're reading the school stuff that you're like, oh, here's this classic thing that has to happen in a school story. And here's how he makes his first friend, a classic thing that has to happen in a school story. And here's how we turn a bully into our friend, classic thing. Oh, here's the girl. Yes, it is all stuff that has been done before in that regard, but it was fun.
Like, I really like that.
Listen, the reason it's a classic trope like that is because life be like that. So I think for the school stuff, for the first portion of it, it's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, maybe halfway as he gets, so part of the school, I should have said this because it's very important. I should have said this earlier in the non-spoiler, but the school has a tier ranking system. There's class 7 through 3. And part of what he has to do is he's trying to investigate his adoptor's brother's death. So he's trying to, as part of that though, they believe he needs to make it all the way to rank 3. Mm-hmm. And rank 3 gets higher placements in the government, gets higher placements in military or religion. So what you're watching and reading, rather, I felt like I was watching, it was so good, is him try to climb from rank 7 to rank 3. Yeah. Once he gets to rank 4 is where it takes a turn from we're having fun, we're learning about the school, we're learning about Will, to then it was drama, right? Is that fair to say? Then it felt like a drama that was very exciting because you're learning more of what's at stake in the series and learning more of, what's going on, right?
Deeper, the plot thickens.
A lot.
In a lot of directions that still make you go, what the fuck is happening here? But in good ways,
Talk more about the school and the island. You talk more about it. Okay, cut it.
Sorry.
You're just taking a sip.
I think the location. So I told you when I actually enjoyed the beginning quite a bit more than you. I thought when they were at the Coliseum thing and everybody was exploding out of nowhere, I was like, whoa.
I did like that. There's so much.
That was Robert Jordan level of like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
This book's hard to talk about because so much happens in it. But we haven't even gotten into that there's a rebel group that knows who he is. We haven't gotten into who he is.
Some of them know who he is, and even within that rebel group, there are people that don't work together in the rebel group.
I needed to take notes. There's so much that happens.
I know.
I forgot to even get into that.
You should watch this girl talk about it. She does a great recap of that story.
I remember it all, but it's hard to summarize it all.
Yeah.
So this kid is an orphan because the Empire came and killed his parents, who were the king.
Yeah, I don't know
queen.
if we told you guys yet, but he's an orphan.
The
orphan's an orphan.
So part of also his objective here is he wants to get revenge on the Empire that killed his whole family.
Took his family, took his country.
Yes.
Invaded him.
Yeah, God, so much happens.
Dude, yeah. I mean, dark character backstory. You know, and he has this whole oath that he doesn't use will. He doesn't seed. He doesn't seed, or he doesn't take in seeding. Honestly, it goes the whole book, and I don't think he uses will in the first book at all. Actually,
none.
Chakras it up. No. So that's in a world where like that's the whole thing, and he doesn't use it. It's fun watching him go through scenarios or control will based things without using will. I like because I like Viz. I like the Orphan. I mean, he's a fun character to follow. You feel for him. It's not overly in depth. I don't know him like I know Randall Thor, but I know
that's what
him.
I'd say about this series. None of it is overly in depth. The story takes precedence over the characters and the world. I think that is the appropriate way to put it.
And I think the world has potential still. It's just the first book didn't really get into it at all. It was very contained. Though I like the island. I really, you asked me that. I didn't really get into that. The
school is amazing.
I like the setup of the school. I like that it's surrounded by these ruins that you start to learn a little more about. So it makes the location of the school even more interesting. In a different world, it's this, it's Hogwarts, but it's its own, it's very different than Hogwarts. One of my favorite things was when they used the armor, when he had to duel that guy to get into, I think, class 5 or 4. And they had to use the armor to do the fight, and the cheating was happening. I was really into it during that. I was very and I mean, and that comes like after, like, oh, the Orphan goes to another ruin and he sees like people get fucking ripped apart by these like shadow creatures, and you're just like, what the fuck was going on there? He just goes back to school, and it's just like, just when you get comfortable with the school stuff, all of a sudden the paranormal shit starts happening, and you're like, oh yeah, this is a fantasy series. What's this about? Very interesting. I like learning about the labyrinth because I'll tell you
Labyrinth's
what,
amazing.
The beginning,
I think the labyrinth.
The beginning of the book with labyrinth stuff, it was hard to kind of wrap my brain around how he kind of described it to me. I think both of us have said in the past, one thing this book series doesn't really do very great is like you can't picture it all the time. Like we can't.
That's why the world building is tough for me, because I don't think he does a great job of like visual explanation. So it feels hard to put yourself into the scene, like Robert Jordan's The Goat. You put yourself into the character's viewpoint and you can see the world around you. You can't do that in this book.
No. And that's okay.
It's great.
Yeah.
Different strokes.
Different strokes for different folks. But it is good. It is good. Where this, like I said, where this series fell for me was really like 3 books. Not only did I just complete the Red Rising original trilogy, but I had just come off of, Kavoth and his time at the Academy. I've read Harry Potter. I read the Dragon book.
I loved his stuff at the Academy.
We're going to school.
We could have been at the school for 3 years for me. So spoilers,
I was glad we weren't. I'll tell you what, I was excited.
We were not at the school for 3 years. We graduate. But dude, I love the scene when he plays chess against, God, what is her name? Not Aqua.
F?
No, it's another A name, isn't it?
I don't remember.
Oh, when he plays chess against her,
and you know what? She gets brought up all the time. Do not know her name.
When he bumps her to 4 and he jumps to 3, that shit rocks.
That was pretty good.
I loved when he goes back to his homeland with class 3. That rocks.
Crazy.
That's really,
dude, when
really,
they said that's
really
where they were
good.
going, I was like...
they're so... Listen, I
didn't see
will
that
take
coming.
responsibility. I have not done my best job of explaining this book, but there are numerous occasions, and this just doesn't happen. The more you read, the less moments you get like this, where I am completely blindsided and shocked by something that happens. That happens probably 5 times in this first book, where I'm like, holy shit. And that's the best recommendation that I can give for this book, is that it does that to me numerous times. I could reread that book today. I really loved it. I thought it was really good. I could reread it today because it's so exciting, and it's very easy to read, minus the names. But
who the fuck?
And I'm not a name
anybody
complainer.
is.
To be clear, the name complaint is that he is using like Roman names, right? The problem is he makes a lot of them very similar, and I understand that maybe Roman names were similar as a whole. So what you have to do, though, is change the first letter. Like, there are multiple characters with A first names. There's multiple characters. It just can't... That makes things tough. Yeah. And then he also frequently refers to characters by their first name, but then also their first and last name.
But also
And
their
it's
title and last name.
politicians. That's what I'm
Like,
saying. And it makes it very difficult to
who the
follow.
fuck is anybody? That's why I can't picture it, because I don't want to picture people, because I don't know if I'm thinking of the right person, other than the main,
Cast.
Amissa, fucking the orphan.
I love Amissa in this book. That's one of those moments where I go, oh shit! Love Amissa in this book.
What's the other girl's name? Fucking
Aqua, Amissa.
Equa, yeah. She's great.
Aiden, is that his name?
Aiden.
He's great.
Dude.
The friend Cal.
The bully can be a friend.
Calidus, great in this book. Another great character. There are great characters in this book.
Yeah, you care, you feel, it does all the right things. It really does do all the right things. I think it falls apart on itself a little at the end. Not that you're not excited, but there's so much, like I said before, there's so much shit that you're like, I don't know why this is even happening. And this book hasn't really explained. I get that it's a mystery, but because I don't know this much, now that we're doing stuff with it later on in this book, like near the end, it just made me go, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'll go along with it, but like, I don't know. And then the book gets to the end and does the different dimensions, and I'm like, okay.
I felt like I had enough of an idea of what we were doing to see what was going to happen.
There were things that people were doing, like abilities people were utilizing in the normal world at the end of this book that I was like, well, how can they do that? And I guess you're not really supposed to know, but it made me feel very lost.
I think that's more of a problem. Another complaint I have, it's more of a complaint of the second book, is the magic system is not...
I'm very interested to talk the second book with you.
So
do you want to get into the second book?
We are in a second. For all my grapes of Sanderson, what he's very good at is magic systems. And he's very good at, here's a magic system, here's what you can do, here's what you can't do. Islington very much struggles in this book, in my opinion, to clearly define what is and is not possible by this magic system, such that things happen in this book that you're like...
Is that the magic system, or is that somebody just doing that?
and there's supposed to be moments where you're going, wait, how is that happening? How is that, like, that shouldn't be possible, except the magic system is so poorly defined at times that you don't really, you're like, oh, maybe that shouldn't be happening, but maybe I'm misremembering because I'm not totally sure how this works. And, that's a problem.
Which, I guess it's fine, but it just made it a little bit of a struggle for me.
No, it's not fine. It's not fine for your magic system to be, and the reason I know it's not fine is because we're going to talk about a second book after this book that might have something to do with the first book that highlights these problems more. And that's how I know it's not fine.
Haven't heard Jake's opinion on the second book now that he's finished it. I'm so interested.
Okay, first book, Will of the Many, James Islington. Great book. That is a 10 out of 10 recommend for me. It is a book I would recommend to everybody. I would not recommend The Wheel of Time, and I would not recommend Stranger to everybody. I would recommend The Will of the Many to anybody. That's the highest praise I can give.
I donated one of my copies of it to my library because I wanted people to read it.
Woo-hoo!
I liked it.
Philanthropic. We're a philanthropic podcast, people.
Now, let me tell you this, though.
Comment, and subscribe.
The first person that took that book after I put it was a 90-something-year-old woman. Do you think she knew what she was getting into, or
no.
do you think she even liked it? A 90-something-year-old woman.
Did you ask her?
No, I don't really know who she is.
She gonna bring it back?
It was somebody who came and got it at like the library. I didn't donate it to the bookmobile. I donated it to the library.
I understand.
So I don't know.
I understand.
She did bring it back. I saw it sitting on the shelf today.
Okay.